So it's been almost a year since we introduced the Zero Pass strap, and what a ride it's been. I just didn't realize how controversial this would be, but I guess when you bring something new into the world, you're gonna get some naysayers. In that year, over 1,000 of you have taken the step and tried one, and what's really encouraging is that 1 in 4 have turned around and bought at least one more. So in this video, I'm gonna show you guys some really exciting new variants that we're just launching. And for those of you that haven't tried the Zero Pass, you're gonna see what the fuss is about and even how to get one for free. Hey guys, welcome back to Studio Anachronist. I'm Max. Quick story, before I became a watch nerd, before I went to medical school, sometime during college, I was once an aspiring mechanical engineer. But that was until I realized I was pretty shit at math and I'd rather talk to people than robots. But I never gave up on those engineering dreams. So I grew up building cars, bikes, watches, and now apparently watch straps. So I've always been a lover of the NATO. With a strong dose of military heritage, they just always look so tough and rugged to me. Perfect pairing for sports watches, whether that's a dive watch, a chronograph, or a field watch. I was a bona fide strap hoarder. Two-stitch. In fact, one of my early videos on the channel was sort of like a tutorial through different types of watch straps. And I'll say I did that video before Teddy Baldessar, for the record. But as much as I love the look of the NATO, something always felt off when I wore them. I just didn't like the fit of a traditional NATO because it adds that double layer of material behind the case back. And if you measure, that's like 20 to 30% extra height on your watch. Now, people try all kinds of things. There's plenty of YouTube videos showing you various ways of wearing a NATO strap. I've cut the tail off of them to turn them into single pass NATOs, but then they become kind of flimsy and they feel wobbly when you have a heavier watch head. So one night a few years ago, I woke up at like 3 a.m. I got my tools out and started hacking in the garage, and by sunrise, the Zero Pass was born. It's called that because this design lets you route the strap around the wrist, leaving no material between your wrist and your watch. In one of our designs, you have to remove the 12 o'clock spring bar first, and we have a new variant where you don't have to do that. But I thought that was a reasonable compromise because most watch people knew how to do that. I made some prototypes over the next few weeks, and then I sort of shopped it around some of the best strap makers that I met being in this hobby. I talked to guys like Nick Mankey, who has a similar routing, but with the elastic material and a hook clip. Erica's does a bungee material also with a clip. But what I love about this design is that from a couple feet back, it looks exactly like a normal NATO strap. Finally, it was David at the Strap Tailor over in the UK who really kind of shared my vision, helped me bring this to life. David, great fella. If you need a custom strap made, he's your guy. So we launched our V1 of the Zero Pass in November of 23, not really knowing what to expect. Thankfully, most of you guys loved it, but it was just good to see this idea come to life. I'd been brewing it in my head for years. So we received a lot of feedback, as you can imagine, on launch, but requests came in for preferences for square keepers over round ones. People asked for different color variants, different sizes, and to sort of work on the length so it would accommodate up to an 8-inch wrist. So we did all that and launched V 2.0 this summer, addressing all of these concerns. We added new colorways like the olive and red, mustard and gray, blue pinstripe, Bond, No Time to Die. David was also able to get the word Zero Pass engraved onto the 6 o'clock keeper. I thought that was a really nice touch. I've also had a deep affection for leather NATOs. I saw Gordon Ramsay wear one on his vintage sub on Hot Ones, the show, and I just thought that was such a classy look. Turns out it's quite tough to make a leather NATO. If you make it too thick, it won't fit behind the spring bars. Too thin, and it'll be prone to breaking. I have to thank the guys at Two Stitch Straps for helping me workshop this early on, and we eventually arrived at 1.1 millimeters, which is the sweet spot. As far as colors for leather, we got tan, burgundy red, black, and then we did sort of a limited edition green strap for St. Patrick's Day. I thought it turned out pretty dope. As we ramped up production, we were able to also bring the price down from $85 to $55 on the leather. Okay, now this is hot off the press. The whole time I've been getting these messages whether we do an FXD version. See, the Tudor FXD has fixed lug, so you can't take off the 12 o'clock spring bar and that extra keeper can't pass through. And I was like, David, how many FXDs do they even sell? Is it worth it for us to do a whole new design for one watch? But you guys kept asking, so we said, hell, let's do it. And what we came up with is a removable leather keeper over a nylon strap. The keeper will have this custom zero pass embossing, and because it's removable, now you can get through the fixed lugs of that watch. And I just think the contrast of the warm texture of the leather over this gray rib nylon looks really fantastic. Now, technically on this variant, you don't need this keeper. It just helps to keep those two plies together on the wrist. But if you're gonna spend prolonged periods of time swimming, for example, I would leave that keeper off. Otherwise, splashes will dry no problem. And while we're at it, I thought, well, let's do a Panerai version. So we did a 24 mil as well, and here it is on my Panerai Luminor. Now let's talk about the big controversy of the Zero Pass design. People will say this defeats the purpose of a NATO. If a spring bar breaks, the strap is not gonna save your watch. This is a valid point. If you're gonna do some extreme sports or you are like a Navy commando going on a mission, don't wear this strap. But you can also say the same thing about every watch band, anything two-piece, especially bracelets. I don't hear people with bracelets sweating their spring bars. I personally am a desk diver. The other day I went for a run and pulled an ass muscle. So I'm perfectly happy to trade some of the redundancy for a much better wearing experience on the wrist. In any case, if you don't know the age and health of your spring bars, I would replace them. It's a cheap precautionary measure that you should do anyway. So I really appreciate you guys who have sent supportive messages over the past year. It's not easy, as you can imagine, to bring a new idea into the world. There's always gonna be the haters who put you down for trying something different. That's okay, I can handle it if you've looked at the comment section of any YouTube video. But I'd like to thank the people that have been so supportive. And as we switch from the V1s to the V2 design, I have a few dozen V1s left over. And instead of selling them, what I like to do is offer them for free. Especially if you're on the fence to try a Zero Pass strap, you haven't pulled the trigger, this is your chance to get one for free. So go on the WatchCrunch app, send me a message. I'll give you a one-time code for a free V1 strap, while supplies last, of course. But that's my 1 year update. If you've tried a Zero Pass, let me know below what your experiences are. Thank you again. Take care.